The Cryptonaut Podcast is brought to you by Cryptid Crate. Visit cryptidcrate.com and enter our promo code Grampus, that's Grampus, at checkout to get 10% off the entire life of your Cryptid Crate subscription. The holidays are just around the corner, and if you're going to get stuck and you don't know what to get someone for a gift, this is the perfect gift to get somebody because it's not a one-time gift. They get it throughout the year. It's a monthly subscription box. So you get someone this, boom, they're getting presents. 12 months out of the year after that. I'm not sure how the renewal process works, but I'm sure you can get those logistics at cryptidcrate.com. So that's a great, that's a perfect present idea for the holiday season. So be sure to use our promo code Grampus. That's Grampus, and save yourself 10% off the entire life of the Cryptid Crate subscription. And that's going to brighten everybody's holiday right there, I think, is that every month you're getting a super cool Cryptid Crate in the mail. That's just going to be pretty awesome. So we're going to continue on with the holiday push because obviously that's what we do in the intro. TeePublic, be sure to check out our TeePublic shop. The link for that is in the description of this podcast. There's going to be some Black Friday sales coming up, and I think they're a couple days long, so keep your eye on the social medias for that. We will post it there when the sales go up. Also, to Big Cartel, the link for that will also be in the description of this podcast. We have a couple of the stickers and magnets and buttons, that promo package. We have a couple of those left, so you should grab some of those as well. Might not be a bad idea for a stocking stuffer, just saying. Someone opens their stocking and they're like, oh, look, I got all these sweet stickers and pins. And then, joy happens and Yuletide is, shed, if that's how Yuletide works. So, all right, cool. There's all that. Instagram. We have an Instagram merch highlight in our story section. So if you want to be featured in that, just do an Instagram story with your Cryptonaut merch and mention us in the story. I forget our Instagram name. I think it's like at Cryptonaut Pod or Cryptonaut Podcast or something like that. But if you follow us on Instagram, we're easy to find. So do a story. Add us, we'll add it to our story, we'll put it in the highlight reel, and then we're kind of having a whole highlight of people with the merch. So it's cool. It's great to show the guys that, and obviously other listeners like to check it out, so it's cool. So yeah, do that up. I'm almost in under 2 minutes. I think I'm going at like 2:30 or 2, looks like it says 2:28 there on the counter, so I was wrong. But yes, so without further ado, Christopher, cue that creepy music. Welcome to the Cryptonaut Podcast. I'm Mark Storrs, and with me as always is...
I'm Chris Carnasali.
And...
Rob Morphy.
Thank you for joining us. As always, we say this every episode, and we're going to keep saying it. Follow us in the social medias.
Please.
Twitters,
Socials.
Instagrams, Facebooks. We're there. We're hanging out. We're talking. Come say hi. Ratings and reviews are very important for this show, so be sure to rate us on the Apple Podcast apps.
Indeed.
Apple Podcast is the same as iTunes.
But
we are pushing Apple Podcast. In case Apple Podcast checks this pod out and wants to feature us, we have to refer to them only as Apple Podcast app.
the man has got us by the sack.
It's okay.
Well, what
it's
are you going to do?
Good sack to be had. Does that make sense?
Sure enough.
Okay, good. Perfect. Cool. So give us ratings and reviews. We appreciate it. Also, to Stitcher Radio and Facebook, we appreciate hearing from you guys from there as well. Before we get started with this week, we had a great mail day. We got tons of mail. Tons of mail.
That's fucking awesome.
This is super dope. So, real quick, Matt Drew, thank you so much. We got the Beard and Mustache Club of North Carolina.
Yeah, they're sweet.
They were fucking so beautiful.
All of us
I love that design.
All of us got dope shirts.
Oh, yeah.
So, we can all wear them together.
And even the fat guy shirt, I was so grateful, man. I know it takes an extra measure to go that far with the X's, and bless your heart, Matt Drew.
It's dope. So, moving on here. I was going to actually mention this a couple weeks ago, and it totally slipped my mind because Instagram is super busy, but Hunter Cole with the crypto dance. I showed you guys that video.
Oh, jeez, Christ.
How is that dude even not a skeleton? He is a skeleton on ball joints.
The way his legs were moving, I'm like, damn, dude.
It was like Riverdance meets a fucking grand mal seizure.
Dude, it's like river. Yeah, it's like a combination of Riverdance and just youthful energy that we haven't possessed since probably 1993.
I'm not entirely
I
sure
don't know.
I
I ever.
possessed
Yeah,
it.
no, I didn't.
No, I think I saw it from a distance when I was 19 once, and then I turned around and went the other way. It's admirable. Plus, he had a sweet ass Mothman shirt on.
He did,
like
yeah.
the traditional, I think it's an eyewitness sketch, or at least one that was done at the time. So that was pretty dope. But I got to tell you, that dance was fucking awesome. Thank you,
that
Hunter
dance
Cole.
is fucking sweet. And also to Anna Arnold, she sent us the cryptid comic. I will put the link to that. Actually, I'll put the link to her where you can get it. I believe it's through her Instagram. I didn't bring it actually, but I read it. I thought it was super dope. It's like a kid's comic book.
Right.
It's super cool. The print quality on it too is really impressive. I was super impressed with it.
I can't wait to check it out.
So thank you, Anna. That was awesome. And I got actually, which is kind of dope because I order stuff all the time, is Clarissa Wilcox sent me the Dump Cat print.
And it's a true print, right?
It's a real print. Yeah, it is bomb. It looks so dope.
I gotta say, just the shit I've seen online of it, like I say, it fills me with joy and envy. I always say this as an artist. I always measure what I like by how much I'm pissed I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And she gets pretty high on that scale, but the fanboy in me is completely delighting in it.
Actually
It's beautiful.
I've seen some of our listeners request that as a shirt. So by all means, go ahead and make a shirt of it. Like do it. Like do it up. Like I'll buy one. I'll buy a hoodie.
We can support
totally rock
listen,
it as a
the
hoodie.
fan art that is extraordinary, or not even so extraordinary. There's a good chance we're going to fucking support it because in the end we're fans of shit as much as we're glad that you like our shit.
Like all the awesome stuff that like our listeners send us. First of all, is 100% appreciated. We love it, but it's always also dope.
All right,
Yeah, it's the
speaking
dope
of which,
shit.
we're probably going to
So
go there in a
dope.
second. That goddamn Kitami octopoid.
Oh yeah.
That was drawn by.
Yeah, that was cool.
Hold on a second. I got him right here.
All I'm saying is this drawing was this beautiful sketchbook drawing, full color. It looked like marker, and it had all the lesions and the skin pigmentation, a really cool face, and this beautiful blue electricity undulating around it, which blew my fucking mind. I was so impressed with this. And again, I hate you a little bit.
Bong Water Ben.
Bong Water Ben.
Bong
How could I
Water
have
Ben.
forgotten
Yeah.
your name, sir?
Yeah, it looks like the Japanese, like what they call like the chibi version.
Yeah, it does
of-
look like a chibi
Yeah.
version. And that's, I think, part of why I love it. It's the eyes and the electricity that really
Yeah,
make it for
it
me.
looks dope.
And that
Yeah, it
pool
looks
of red
super cool.
shadow around its feet is a great stability giver.
Yeah,
like I
it
give
looks
full
dope.
props to Bong Water for this. Well done, Ben.
Also,
Well, Bong Ben. I almost said.
Bong Ben. So also too this week I received the 3D printed space penguin, and we have one sitting right there.
Of Tuscumbia.
Of Tuscumbia.
Oh,
We
right,
got one
next
right
to Baby
there.
Metal.
That was from I Really Love Pixels. He's on Instagram. He does 3D printing of stuff. He also sent me this really dope Bloody Yeti, which is super cool. So, and of course, my
Okay.
kid, my son claimed it. So Charlie has a
Well,
super
yeah.
cool Bloody Yeti. But yeah. So thank you all very much. We appreciate the support. We appreciate all the
yeah.
gifts and
Totally.
whatnot. Totally appreciate it.
Love it.
So this week we're going to be getting down to the story here. This is kind of fun, and this comes to us actually from a good buddy of ours, longtime listener of the podcast, Tom G, across the pond.
Indeed.
Yeah, from Bridgeton, Begonia. Tom, what up, my dude?
This came early too. Like
He sent us this a
sent you
while ago.
This PDF.
Yeah.
From the Bufora Journal, that stands for, and I'll mention this in the story, the British UFO Research Association. I might be getting it wrong now, but when I read it, it'll be right. And this PDF had this brilliant article, which you, of course, forwarded to me.
Yep.
And so it's taken us this long to finally get to it, but I have been enthralled with this case from the moment I read about it almost a year ago.
Yeah, Tom has sent us so much awesome stuff that we just have an entire backlog.
He definitely
So,
has an eye for the weird
He
and
does.
fits in perfect. He's an extended team member.
Basically, yeah. Tom, whether you know it or
He's in-
not,
you're in
buddy,
the field.
You're probably
sending
busy
stuff.
with, like doing real shit with your life, like college and whatnot.
Sure.
But listen, welcome to Team Kryptonaut.
Absolutely.
You're our European connection, so good luck over there.
We're
And,
like Buckaroo Banzai and his crew, and then they have the extended group that are called the Blue Blazers. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm digging
Yeah.
deep
Oh,
into
Jesus
sci-fi
Christ.
again.
That is-
Blue
that is.
Blazer regulars. That's
Yeah.
what they're called.
Oh, yeah.
Chris and I watched it not that
Perfect
long
Tommy.
ago. Yeah, Perfect Tommy.
you
Well, he
go.
was part of the regular team.
Yeah, he was.
What was it? It was Buckaroo Banzai and the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Oh God,
Yes.
yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah.
So that's us. But everyone that's extended is a fucking Blue Blazer regular, and thank
Totally.
you all so fucking much,
There you
especially
go.
you, Tom G, because you sent this shit and it blew my tits off, and I'm very happy to fucking be dealing with it right now.
we were talking about Sam, the Sandown ghost clown.
That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Ooh, here we go. Ghost
Sam the
clown.
Sandown Ghost Clown.
All right, getting started with. In the spring of 1973, two children had a run-in with an inexplicable clown-like entity that eerily beckoned to them from beneath a bridge and managed to lead them into what some have speculated was an alternate dimension.
Indeed.
Ooh, interdimensional. What do you think?
It's a possibility.
Let's hear it, Bobby.
Let's do what we often do and set the geography first so we understand the place. Once you know the place, you can get into the weird. In the southeast region of England, located in the English Channel, about 2 miles off the coast of Hampshire, is the Isle of Wight. We're all, of course, familiar with the Isle of Wight. Mm-hmm. It's right at the bottom of it. If England was pooping out a tiny island, and I'm not dissing the Isle of Wight, suggesting it's poop. I just mean, if England were a being and it was pooping a little nugget, it would be the Isle of Wight.
I can't even, in my mind, figure out what England looks like.
Jesus Christ.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, fair enough.
I can't. I'm sorry. Is there a TARDIS involved?
No.
Okay, then I'm not sure what it is. Sorry.
This tourist destination is renowned for its temperate climate, pastoral beauty, and rugged coastline. On the east side, the very edge of the isle, is a coastal resort town known as Sandown. Wedged between that seaside paradise and the nearby town of Shanklin is the aptly named Shanklin and Sandown Golf Club. It would be sometime in May of 1973 when two children would have a very bizarre encounter with an intelligent and apparently non-human being on this golf course. Golf for life.
There you go.
At about 4 p.m. on the day in question, a 7-year-old girl named Faye was wandering around the golf course with an unnamed male friend who was approximately the same age. The duo were exploring the nooks and hills of this great expanse when they were both startled by a sound that they compared to the wail of an ambulance siren in the distance.
Okay.
Alarming.
Yeah.
Not cool, but not necessarily horrible.
Okay.
You hope for the best, you don't know. The young children, filled with both natural curiosity and the sense of invulnerability that comes before a dawning awareness of their own mortality, swiftly set out to locate and identify the source of the hauntingly repetitive, monotone screech.
I gotta give you respect for the awareness of their own mortality because you're bringing it hard. You're like, they're young. They don't know about death yet. They have no idea.
They're invulnerable.
They're not 38 years old having an existential crisis curronly.
No, they're
They
not.
know
Well,
what's
I don't know.
up.
Maybe
They're just young and hanging out, and they're like, life is good.
We are young. Come on, join me. We are
Forever
free.
young?
We are forever young. These fledgling explorers pushed through the thick hedgerow and made their way to a swampy pasture which was adjacent to the oft-abandoned Sandown Airport. The moment Faye and her companion came into the clear, the intermittent shrieking ceased. Not content to forego this mystery without at least a cursory search of the area, the two intrepid investigators pressed forward, looking for any sign of the thing that had made so startling a noise. As the pair crossed over a wooden footbridge that traversed a narrow creek, they experienced the shock of their young lives. Without warning, a large, 3-fingered hand, clad in what appeared to be a blue glove, emerged from beneath the bridge and urged the youngsters to come forward. Bad scene. Right there.
This
That's all I need.
immediately red flags. Not good.
Yeah. When you're 7, maybe not.
No.
As an adult.
When you're 38, not good.
Yeah, at 46, if I'm walking over a goddamn bridge and I see a blue hand with an inordinately short number of fingers.
Yeah. Nobody
saying,
wants that.
Come here, Rob. I'll be like, eat dicks and choke on your own evil. I'm out.
See you later.
Yeah.
But these are kids and they don't know better, and it was an innocent time. It was 73. Who the fuck knew?
I know. 3 fingers meant safety back then.
Yeah, surely.
Did it really, though?
Well, the blue glove
Did it?
said
In England it
peace
did.
and happiness.
in England.
There's books about it.
Oh, okay, good. There's a club. There's a club.
Yeah.
Check your local library.
Yeah, there you go.
The kids, seemingly more curious than they were concerned, did not run away, but stared in astonishment as an utterly unbelievable humanoid figure arose from beneath the bridge.
This is
Here we
pure
go.
bravery of youth. Oh, God bless.
The first publicized description of this unique entity was circulated in the British UFO Research Association's journal, Volume 6, Number 5, February 1978. That's the full bibliography.
Okay.
In an article by Norman Oliver titled, Report Extra, ! Ghost or Spaceman 73? Question mark.
Okay, questionable editorial headline, but
Yeah, but
You know what?
we can't question it. It's just what's handed down to us from history.
okay, cool.
See?
I
There's
agree.
books.
I wouldn't have written it that way, but
I told you the books.
I mean,
in it, Oliver reported what the children had claimed to have seen emerging from under the old wood bridge. And this is the quote directly from the article. He was nearly 7 feet tall and had no neck, for his head appeared to be wedged straight into his shoulders. He wore a yellow pointed hat which interlocked with the red collar of a tattered green tunic. A round black knob was affixed to the top of the hat, and wooden antennae were attached to either side. Now, I think we all know.
Whoa.
In Earth, we think we're fancy with our metals and silicon. When you go to like more advanced species, it's only elm and sometimes oak if you're in a pinch.
I guess
All right,
so.
yeah, I mean, better.
Wooden antennae are literally the height of maximum technology.
I've heard
the greatest conductor.
wood.
Oh, shit. I know. We're laughing. What do
That's,
we really know?
that's a dad joke right there. Like, oh yeah, I got the best conductor. Wood. It's great.
Wood.
It's good. Good for
Jesus,
electricity.
I mean, it's bizarre. And these wooden antennae, as I mentioned before,
Okay.
but I'm going to state again, were attached to either side of the head.
All right.
The face had triangular markings for eyes, a brown square of a nose, and motionless yellow lips. Other round markings were on its paper white cheeks. I'm going to say that it looked like little red rouge dots.
Okay, right.
Well, actually, the drawing isn't in color, so I'm assuming red, but it had circular dots where the cheeks would be.
Ah, tears of a clown.
Yeah, no doubt. These round markings were on its paper white cheeks, and a fringe of red hair fell onto his forehead. Wooden slats protruded from his sleeves and from below his white trousers. Wooden
What
fucking
is
slats.
up with
Well, what
wood?
does that mean? Wooden slats.
Well, first off, we know they're a great conductor, so let's just
clearly
table that for now.
Good for electricity.
Secondly, is he like a fucking puppet? Is his suit need to be made stiff by something that appears to be wood?
It almost sounds like a marionette or something.
It sure as fuck
Like,
does.
Yeah.
A horrible 7-foot-tall semi-clown marionette.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect for just a sunny May afternoon.
Yeah. 7 foot.
7 foot.
All
Almost 7 foot, I should say.
All right. The Knicks could use him, I think, this year.
The
But anyway.
children also noticed, no doubt, that the entity had only
Sports.
3 white toes on its apparently bare feet. That's right, boys and girls. It's a scummy, barefoot robo-puppet clown from hell.
Who needs shoes?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
you know, why would you need shoes?
Well, when you're already wooden, I mean, what's the point of even? Does he
That's
be
what I'm
ironic and wear fucking clogs? Like, oh, I got wooden shoes and I'm wood. I'm gonna be like, who's gonna do that?
Well, in all
I mean,
fairness,
our-
we don't know he's entirely made out of wood. We don't know if this is
Okay,
like
all right.
Ultra Pinocchio yet. He just has wooden
scummiest
slats in his
Pinocchio.
clothes and apparently bare feet. And a rigid, weird face that looks like a shitty
Yeah,
mid-1700s puppet.
Okay.
the best.
At this moment of what may well have been the first contact between the human race and a being of unknown origin, the creature did something uncannily clownish. He began fumbling a book that he had been holding, dropping it into the water below. Faye and her cohort watched this erratic, clown-like being as it almost comically splashed around in the creek in an attempt to retrieve the book. After he salvaged his tome, the entity leapt out of the water and moved away from the children, employing a high-kneed, hopping gait, not unlike that of an astronaut moving about on the lunar surface. Case over. What do you think?
So just
Psych! I'm fucking with you. It's just beginning. Yeah, no, it's like, so it's
Like-
the 7-foot-tall thing, and it's jumping knees high, simultaneous.
Okay.
And then landing and then hopping again in the same fashion.
Oh,
As if
it's
I have
so
to say,
creepy.
Earth's gravity has not the same effect on it, or that it's being controlled by invisible strings as a marionette might be.
Okay.
Maybe the good Lord put this puppet down to teach a kid a lesson. I don't know.
Maybe.
It could be.
All I know is that this huge fucking thing hopped in the most awkward fashion possible
Yeah.
and got away.
Okay. Why you gotta? Okay. Never mind.
Within moments, the being disappeared inside what looked to the school children to be a small, windowless, metallic hut, comparable to those used in construction sites. The perplexed kids simply stared at the structure for a bit, then decided it was time to leave.
I mean, they may have wanted to make that call earlier.
Well, they're
But-
kids.
You got to find out what you got to
No,
know.
Hoppy the Clown deserves at least a second glance.
This is how you end up.
We would run because we know about, like I say, our own mortality,
Right.
how fragile it is.
existential.
But when
yeah.
you're young and just fucking around
Yeah.
on the golf course and you just see Super Clown, and this is, what, 13 years before it was published?
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't think the inherent fear of clowns that is in abundance today existed back in the early
Yeah,
70s.
no.
They were still kind of endearing, and Bozo the Clown was still on TV, and all that bullshit that kids seem to like.
Right.
So it wasn't a complete fucking horror show yet.
Before they were all ruined like us.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
we're all done with clowns. I feel bad for a professional clown that was like at the height of their career in '84 because
Yeah.
they're fucking donezo now. I hope they're ready for retirement after said 34 years because
Yeah.
if you were a young clown getting into the biz back then, the world seemed gold. You were always going to have a circus to go to. Now they're closing those fuckers down left and right for animal abuse, and good riddance, I say.
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
Rightfully so.
I have no nostalgia for a circus.
No.
An OG circus.
But I do
me
remember
neither.
laughing at clowns when I was a kid.
Really? I
never did.
No, I mean, their
No, I
antics
never
in the.
did.
I mean, I was, again, just fucking a kid in the 70s and 80s, very little in the 70s, and just seeing them tumble around and doing doofy shit, it didn't terrify me.
No.
I just found it mildly amusing, like a Three Stooges short or something. I didn't give fucks.
It was a more innocent time.
Yeah, truly.
I was born in the 80s and raised in the 90s. In the streets.
In the streets. In the dumpsters of America.
The dumpsters of
I
America.
lived in a dumpster for 4 hours.
All right, it's a long story.
When the kids were about 150 feet away from the structure, about, give or take, the entity reemerged, this time holding a device which resembled a black knobbed microphone with a white flex attached to a small box that apparently served as an amplifier. Now, can anyone tell me what a flex is? Because I didn't spend much time researching it.
Is this like
maybe
an old
5.
school?
In
like,
some British eBay things, they said, microphones in mint condition, flex is in mint condition. But I'm like, I don't know what this fucking flex is.
Is it like the box that it's attached to? I don't know.
At this point, I want to give a shout out to our listener that confirmed the existence of Nakoro Mountain. See the Katami abductors.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't find it. So obviously, we need research assistance. Let's just be honest. Obviously, I'm not cutting my fucking weight here. I don't even know if that analogy is right. So anyway, I'm not sure what the fucking white flex is, but it's a microphone attached to a small box, which looked like in the illustration that it had a speaker on it and a small light.
So probably what it is like a little amplifier.
Yeah.
That's what I
It's gotta
assumed.
be like a little amp, yeah.
Absolutely. This is how Oliver described it, the same Oliver that wrote the article. The wailing noise immediately returned, this time being so loud that the boy was scared and began to run away. Not a lot of props for boys here. Faye stood her ground.
That's right.
She's tough as nails.
Did the sound come from the box?
Apparently. It's not
Is that what they mean?
specifically
Okay.
designated.
Right.
Faye turned and was about to follow her friend when the screeching sound faded. The mechanized clown began to speak into the microphone. The pair would later claim that they heard his voice with perfect clarity as it asked them a seemingly obvious question, which was, "Are you still here?" Well, fuck yeah. I mean, yeah, they're there.
Yeah,
You're looking at him. You're talking to him. Maybe he has a different idea of like spatial geography.
Yeah.
And if you're far enough away, you might not really exist anymore.
Is this a part of his clown bit? Like, is he trying to be funny?
He pulls out an amplifier with a mic like, is this thing on?
Yeah.
Are you still here?
Yes, that's exactly
Are
what
you
happened.
standing right there? He's still here?
Are you still here? You sure? All right, hold on a second. Are you still here?
Yeah, no shit.
All right, we get it.
The boy stopped running at this point, and he and Faye came to the conclusion that this clown-like creature's voice had a friendly, non-threatening tone. Again,
Okay.
for our dear listeners, and all of you probably know this, and if you're very young, maybe you don't, but if you're very young, you shouldn't be listening to this. A friendly, non-threatening tone is not an indication of safety.
No, not at all.
That might be an
Not at
indication
all.
of even more peril.
I'm sure John Wayne Gacy had the voice of an angel.
Oh,
Guess
God,
what?
yes.
Terrible.
Stranger danger.
Terrible monster.
Well, what's interesting, I don't know if they say it in the article, but does this clown speak in an accent?
They didn't indicate
Oh,
an accent
yeah, I
at all.
wonder if it did,
they,
yeah.
they said they do say how it speaks, which I'll get to in a minute, but
Right.
they did not say it wasn't an accent of any sort.
Okay.
Interesting.
Once again, the kids' curiosity usurped their better judgment, and they started back towards the entity. Again, another bad call, but we'll leave it. At this point, the creature raised his presumably still moist book, opened it, and in a large childish scrawl wrote a message. The boy was wary, but Faye cautiously approached the clown creature, looking into the book. As the chaotic sequence of words was in no conventional order, Faye read each one as the being pointed to it. The message, as he was pointing to random words,
Right.
read, "Hello, and I am all colors, Sam." So maybe he wasn't the
All
best
colors
at pointing.
Sam.
This isn't good.
This is something we could probably spend hours rearranging, trying to make sense.
but not.
The implication is I think its name is Sam. It's
Right.
saying hello, and he is indeed all fucking colors, respect.
Okay.
Yeah, no, all
All right. I
colors
mean,
Sam.
respect to him in all of his colors, but weird. Okay.
Yeah, it is fucking weird. Seeing as Faye had not been harmed by the unusual visitor, the boy gained the pluck to join her next to the looming figure.
So he lets his little friend who's a girl is really going up there, and he's like, all right, if she gets eaten, I'm fucking I'm done.
But he did come back.
All right. Well, I'm saying Faye gets all the points here.
Oh, she gets mad points.
Yeah.
No, she had courage galore.
Faye's standing up.
Wisdom? No, but she's 7.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who the fuck
She's got
cares?
bravery.
But courage, maximum.
Totally.
Yeah, we're all
Max
we're all
courage,
Team
Faye.
Faye in this one.
That's
I
right,
think.
Faye. Wherever you are today. Good
I hope
job.
she's
and-
alive well and not dealing with fucking puppet ghost clown
Good job
monsters.
and make better choices, but
Yeah, well-
regardless, bravery.
Yeah,
Good.
teach your kids not to do what you
Yeah,
did.
good on you.
The children then learned that the creature Sam, I'll color Sam,
Yeah.
was able to talk without the aid of a microphone. The kids were fascinated by the being's ability to speak without moving its lips. Faye would state that even though the thing was able to speak perfect English, the sounds it made were distorted, rather like an individual who was incapable of opening their mouth properly.
Like,
A little mumbly, I guess.
I got kind of like this, and
Well, if you freeze your lips. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing that.
well, your
but
mouth was open.
It was. That's true. So you're talking like this. You currently your mouth.
No, it's still open.
All right,
Yeah,
we're
you're
done.
right.
You're absolutely done with this
Experiments with
Over.
Mark have failed.
At this point, the children began to feel comfortable enough to start asking questions. Caught on appearances, as kids often are, the duo asked the being why his clothes were all torn. And at this point, I'm just going to say it for the record, I'm going to call him his.
Yeah,
I'm going to use the
right. It's just
pronoun, the
for-
male pronoun, just for convenience.
Simple, yeah.
There is no gender specification, but I wrote it a bunch of times in the original incarnation of this article, and it got real awkward.
I mean, maybe it's just me, but as a 7-year-old, the first thing I would ask this guy is, "What the fuck are you? You're a 7-foot-tall fucking clown made out of wood."
Well, you just think it's a
They're gonna get
clown.
to deeper questions. They're just
Okay.
worried about the state of his dress.
Maybe
at
I was a
first.
more advanced 7-year-old.
Or maybe you're just
no,
a douche.
You weren't.
That's true. I probably was. Or you know what though? I was a shitty kid, so you're right.
You're a wonderful man, though.
But I was a terrible kid.
Fair enough.
Questionable man.
Maybe that's what it takes to make a
Yeah.
good man.
We're all questionable, man.
We're all questionable.
You know?
That's fair, but fairly decent at our core.
Men of questionality. Is that a word?
I would say questionable integrity, maybe, but
All right.
questionality is a fine
Questionality.
word.
Question.
If you say it with enough confidence, it is
Yeah.
always a word. Every word was made up at one point, so just go for it.
All right.
Let's get back to this fucking robot thing,
Let's do this.
or whatever it is, super clown, ghost, whatever.
Fucking wood demon.
It might be.
Could
Keep
be.
it on the table.
All right.
Never take wood demon off the
Never
table.
Take the devil off the fucking table.
No.
All right, so I'm going to restart. Caught on appearances, as kids often are, the duo asked the being why his clothes were all torn. Sam replied that they were the only clothes that he had available, which is sort of vague and weird. One of
That
those
is
answers.
weird.
Faye, fixated on the humanoid's strangely immobile features and paper white skin, mustered the courage to ask Sam if he was human. That's your question, Mark.
Okay.
His reply was simply no. That's it.
Nice.
Are you human?
No.
No.
Okay.
Done.
Cross
Game
that
over.
off.
First of all, they're fucking Commander Obvious.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's a 7-foot-tall fucking wooden clown. Not giving Faye shit. Respect to Faye.
No, she's asking the hard questions.
Yeah,
I
but
bet you she's a fucking like wartime reporter now, a journalist that gets into
Yeah.
the womb of evil and frets
So just
out the
imagine
story.
Oh, maybe.
you're this girl and you ask this 7-foot-tall wooden clown, you're like, "Are you human?" And the clown's just like,
No.
"No." You're like, "Okay, well,
Yeah.
moving on."
Yeah. Suck it.
Yeah.
Anxious about his status as a paranormal entity, they then asked Sam if he was a ghost. The strange being replied, "Well, not really, but I am in an odd sort of way."
Oh God!
Which is
Is
some
this
crazy
David Bowie?
fake fucking
Is
weird
this
shit.
David Bowie?
Yeah, is this Ziggy Stardust
Is it?
fighting and
Is this
visiting kids on the golf
like
course?
one of his performance pieces?
It sure seems it.
Just all the
Could be
cocaine
anybody.
in England.
Well, not really, but I am in an odd sort of way. That is so enigmatic. That is so disturbingly.
fuck does that
puzzling.
even mean,
Are you
though?
a fucking sphinx? What are you doing? Just tell me what you are. Are you
Well,
a
sort
ghost
of.
or not? Are you
Yeah.
a dead human being that got reincarnated as this fuckall, or are you
Yeah.
something from somewhere else? What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is your metal shed a fucking secret spaceship? Is it an interdimensional portal? Is it just a fucking metal shed?
Who
know.
are you, dude?
Yeah, what's your deal?
I
Yeah.
figure he's not going to explain that to a 7-year-old. He's not going to understand that kind of stuff.
Probably
Well,
not.
you know, sit down, children.
Let me give you the tale of
It
Sam.
began 3 centuries ago.
Oh no, 3 centuries ago, Jesus.
My grandfather. No.
It demands another folk song. It really does. He's got 3 fingers and a heart of gold, a pointy head, and a microphone. It's Sam.
No, did you
The
just come up with
Sandown
that?
Cowboy. Yeah, of course
Did
I
you
did.
really?
Yeah, I'm
Holy
writing
shit.
songs in my spare time. Yeah, of course I am. Just a description.
Yeah.
Christ
Are
almighty.
you gonna make me get a fiddle on the
Yeah,
ready so we can
why
fucking...
Why aren't you like in a bar somewhere, like singing songs like that with like
If
a
I
sweet
was raised
guitar,
in the right
like,
in the right place in America, I probably would be.
All right.
But upstate New York means I'm here with my buddies.
All right.
Drinking
You
and
can start a
talking
jug
about
band
monsters.
if you want.
Oh, you guys have a
I
jug
could probably
band,
do a
yeah.
washboard. I was given a washboard to play once in a great Hispanic roundabout. I'll tell you guys about this story sometime, but I got adopted by this Hispanic family when I moved to Ohio for a while. They fed me greatly. They taught me words, and they let me play in their literally all male only wraparound super jug band where everyone had an
Really?
instrument. But they
I did
gave,
not know about
they gave me
this.
a washboard,
Really?
which I couldn't play, but they let me phonetically sing the songs I
that's
couldn't
so nice.
understand.
They took pity
They were
on you.
so nice. And I remember the guy that brought me in, his name was Roosevelt, and he was the best. They really did. They took pity on the stranger.
Oh, that's a pity on me.
I've got huge, nothing but love for them, and I know
yeah.
this probably won't make the final cut, but I just had to give
we'll
them a
keep,
shout
We'll
out.
keep it there.
Big love.
All right,
Big
it's a
love
jug
to
band.
Roosevelt and his
It's
clan.
coming.
All right,
Okay.
here we go. So what is going on with the Sandown clown?
Okay. Quick on their feet, the kids retorted, "What are you then?" Sam vaguely replied, "You know." adding no further explanation.
That's it, you
so
got
Sam
it.
is essentially Chris at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say Sam.
Yeah, I did.
Sam's
What are
answering
you?
like Chris.
Don't
You know.
pretend that
No.
you don't know.
Yeah.
And then left it at that. So he says, not really, to being a ghost. When he's asked if
Right.
he's a ghost, he says, not really, but I guess in an odd sort of way, which means that he thinks he's partially non-corporeal, maybe, that he might be
I don't
interdimensional. We don't
know.
know. We can only guess at his intentions for saying that.
Right.
But then when it's like, what are you then? He comes back with that coyish shit. You know, it's kind of
You know.
condescending. You know.
Or maybe he's like, hey, you know.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
but I can't
maybe-
help but hear it negatively.
No, you're right.
But I mean, so far
True.
he hasn't been too. He hasn't really been a dick. He's been
Terrifying
terrifying
to anyone that can
But he's
see.
just been like, you know.
No, he hasn't been
Yeah.
overtly aggressive, mean,
No,
or
he
anything.
hasn't done anything, really.
Yeah. The creature then went on to explain that although he had indicated that his moniker was Sam in the book, that he had no real name. So Sam is just a nom de plume, just a little thing he goes by on
Is
Earth.
this going to be Tears of a Clown?
I don't know.
It might be.
How often do you cry at clowns?
Tears of a Clown.
He also claimed that there were others like him on the Earth, which implies interplanetary something or other, but others like him. So there's probably just a patchwork of fucking hyper puppet robo clown scouts, maybe in outer Siberia.
Or is he just talking about normal clowns and he's like the god of clowns?
The god of clowns. You mean like a spiritual manifestation of the Lord of Clowns?
Because
god
you can
of
say if you're a
clowns.
ghost and you're a god, you can be, well, yeah, I guess I could be because I don't really live in this
Unless
dimension.
maybe
and I'm a
he
god
is.
of clowns.
Okay, well, we'll get the theories later, but
He's talking about his acolytes, clowns on Earth.
Clowns Inc. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Clown god.
killer clowns from outer space.
God,
Really an
Clownicus.
underrated film. Not a
Oh,
great
I
film,
love
but
it.
excellent,
Oh, dude,
excellent
I
clown
love
makeup.
that fucking
Oh, yeah,
movie so
absolutely.
much. It's
And when
so
you kill
good.
somebody with a fucking like
With a
popcorn
cotton candy
piranha
gun.
and a
Yeah.
cotton candy
Yeah.
gun, which
Fuck
fucking
yeah, dude.
puts you in a cocoon of spider wood.
Totally.
I got a Utah spot. Good on you, Chiodo brothers.
There you go.
Well done. All right. So he claimed there was others like him on Earth.
Cool.
And he further confessed that he was frightened of people and scared that they might hurt him, stating that if he were attacked, he would not fight back.
See, now I feel bad.
So now he's the super pacifist Gandhi
yeah.
god of clowns, alien
well.
robot puppet.
When you're a 7-foot wooden clown amongst the violent humans, of course you're gonna be like, I don't want you to hurt me.
That's exactly
Yeah,
his
you like
voice.
that?
Flawless.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
But think about it, man. All right. Well, shit. And I feel like a dead.
It's all right. Hey, let's
terrifying.
Save the judgment.
All right.
Can the judgment.
Try not
as
to
you
judge.
say.
Try not to judge, but I'm like, I kind of want to set this thing on fire, and I kind of want to give it a hug. Same
Then
time.
the being, sorry. The being then invited the children to enter his eerie, metal-sided, windowless hut through a flap-like opening on the side.
Okay, now I'm feeling a little bit more concerned for the
See?
children.
Yeah. See how your feelings oscillate with this one?
Yeah.
The kids crawled through, followed by the creature. The hut was divided into 2 levels. The lower level had a bluish-green wallpaper that was covered with patterns of dials. Now, I want to be clear on this. He didn't have semi-futuristic, like 1960s spaceship set
Yeah.
dials.
Right.
Just the wallpaper had pictures.
Wallpaper had pictures of dials.
Okay.
Which, of course, if you're a fucking magical deity, space puppet, whatever the fuck you are, maybe you can use wallpaper dials. Maybe no rules apply. But I don't fucking know. All I know is this is what they said. It was
Okay.
bluish green, covered with dials. Also, he had an electric heater and some basic wooden furniture.
An electric fucking
Heater. And just,
Wait a minute.
run-of-the-mill wooden furniture.
He has electricity in his little shack, in his metal 2-story shack.
Yeah.
You got to power, unless your electric heater is a coffee table and you're not really using it for its said purpose.
All right. I mean, somehow he's got power
And
out
just
there.
standard wooden furniture. Nothing fancy,
Just
nothing
standard
futuristic,
wooden,
no
yeah.
Modoc chairs this time.
No, just regular. Just
run-of-the-mill
wooden chair.
maple sitting furniture.
His living room sounds depressing.
The upper level was not as expansive and had a metal floor. That's the only description we get of the...
Interesting metal floor.
Yeah, well,
Weird.
I mean, it's a metal hut, so I'd imagine all the floors were made of metal.
So it could have actually been like a roof, and he expanded upward.
What I see it more
He was
as,
maximizing his space.
because the kids were able to see it from below, I
fuck,
imagine
man.
it more as a loft. I don't know this for a
Oh,
fact,
yeah,
but
yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
below and you see the upstairs, chances are it's a fucking loft. Right. Sam, not Sam, told them that he managed to survive by feeding on berries that he collected in the late afternoon and that he got his water from a nearby river, but he cleaned it before he consumed it. His purification process was not described. He also confided in the children the existence, but not the specific site, of a secret camp located somewhere in mainland England. So he's got a special camp mainland. He's living on this island. He's eating berries. Late afternoon berries, the best berries, if you ask me. Morning berries can suck it. Late afternoon berries,
That's what you want. Yeah.
sweet and lovely.
This kind of
Okay.
sounds like my setup in Fallout 4, actually. It really sounds like it's like I have a little like base built. This kind of sounds like it. Purification of water is pretty interesting.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, basically most people need purified water if you're a stranger.
Yeah, but it's just
like
kind of
most of the
that's
travels
kind of
I've taken.
It's kind of a weird detail.
I drink canned things because you will literally shit half your soul out
You
otherwise.
drink canned water?
No, like I drink soda, Red Bull, beer.
Wow.
I drink things that are
I
canned.
just didn't.
Yeah.
I knew what he meant. I
Or
didn't
bottled
say.
water if I read it's purified.
Canned
You can't
water.
just drink faucet water
No.
in foreign lands. I've learned the
Well, I
hard
mean,
way.
it's England.
Well, I
like-
mean, if you
Oh
gotta
no, I've had water in England from the tap.
Okay.
It's just fine. But
Okay.
whatever this thing is,
Maybe he has a sensitive stomach.
it's a possibility.
Could be.
That's what the heater's for, boiling his water.
No one needs earth parasites. That's true. That might be what it's
Yeah.
employed for.
Dude, trigonosis, dude. Cook your pork.
Once inside the hut, we've already given the description, but now we're going back to once inside the
All
hut.
right, we're
Once
there.
inside the hut, Sam removed his hat to reveal a pair of rounded white ears and a sparse patch of brownish hair. I find that odd considering what was hanging below the hat was red.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe it's like red, like highlights in front and fucking a thatch of brown hair behind it.
And he's got like French bulldog ears or something?
Or was the red just connected to the hat? Like, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, that's a good
For
question.
some reason, that'd be even creepier.
Yeah, it would be creepy.
But it's not really hair. It just looked like hair.
That'd be super creepy.
It is not indicated specifically, but I like Chris's theory.
Okay.
I don't know what his ears looked like besides rounded. That is literally the only description
Okay,
that comes
like
out to
a
us.
mouse.
Yeah, it could be like a fucking
like-
MGM cartoon Tom and Jerry
Dude,
mouse.
Like it takes off and bleh.
Yeah, like French bulldogs have these giant rounded ears.
There's no reason to assume they're giant.
Right. Well,
just
yeah.
fucking
Saying the
round
bulldogs
ears.
have these French
Do you really
bulldogs have
want
big
this?
ears.
Because I'll give it to you.
What's that?
He had colossal bulldog ears. Does that
Oh,
make it
I
up?
love it.
I'm
Oh.
feeding this in. This is not facts. I'm just doing this because I love you, man.
Thank you.
You got it.
I missed.
It was a
dogs.
bulldog.
It was a bulldog.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, can I hug it? Can I hug it?
The next thing the creature did was truly outlandish. It was
I wanna
something the
know.
kids referred to as an act of conjuring.
Oh,
The British kids, so they know the big
Yeah, here we
words.
go.
Jesus.
The kids testified that the creature placed a berry in his ear, his giant round bulldog ear.
Okay.
I added that. Then thrusted his head forward, causing the berry to disappear and reappear in one of his triangular eye sockets. After repeating the head movement, the berry reached his mouth. Oliver, the author of the article that we've got most of this information from, speculated that this unusual trick might have been a process used by a biological robot to verify the quality of and potential toxicity of the berry before he consumed it.
Okay.
So he had to go in his ear to analyze it.
So
So,
on the ear,
yeah.
headbang.
Right.
In the eye,
Yeah.
headbang.
Yep.
In the mouth, down the hatch, I assume.
Okay. All right. I mean,
Now, I don't have explanation for his motives or how it was done. I think Oliver's explanation that it was some biorobot method of ascertaining how poisonous this thing was and how nutritious it might be is a fine piece of speculation, but it is just that.
Yeah.
But it's fucked up because it's one thing, you know, any good sleight of hand magician can put something in your ear and cough and then it's in your hand because it was still in your hand the whole time.
Of course.
But to bang heads and then it's in your fucking eye socket, which is weird unless you have hollow or you got weird shit going inside that mask.
I was thinking maybe he's hollow.
Like if he's a pile of tentacles and just fucking weird shit that can like pull it in there and put it out the eye. Blah, blah, blah. We don't fucking know what's going on behind this fucking horrific wooden visage.
It sounds like if it's in his ear, then he puts it like there's obviously a hollow passage all the way to his eye.
Well, the way they described the face, for me, I just saw it blank. It was just shapes. They didn't describe eye. I pictured a whole.
Would you bring up a picture of it so
like
Chris can see?
Like a jack-o'-lantern. It's just
the best thing is I am obviously going to do my interpretation of it, but there is an illustration from the Bufora Journal of what this guy looks like, and this will give you all a better taste of it. And of course, when we do put up the article, you'll see my version and that version. I'm saying to the listeners, and we'll probably maybe put something in the description so you can just see it earlier.
Yeah,
it's fucking weird. It's pretty much what you imagine, but kind of worse.
Okay,
it's like a nightmare marionette. So whatever the fuck he was doing, I can't even imagine. I don't know if, like I say, like Oliver said, he's testing it or if he's just trying to impress the kids with his mad magic skill set. He did this fucking crazy thing, and apparently they were amused because they didn't run away in abject horror like I would have. Yeah. Especially when something comes out of somebody's eye socket, you can suck it at that point. I am fucking outie Kurt Gowdy. But, you know, they had a different agenda.
Kurt
different
Gowdy.
time.
Yeah.
Old references.
Dodgers catcher Kirk Gowdy.
Well, it's more of a Beastie Boys reference for me.
Okay,
I'm less a Dodgers fan and more a B-Boys fan.
All right,
but
perfect.
That having been said, the children remained inside the creature's hut-like home for the better part of a half hour, asking Sam questions and receiving, obviously, ambiguous answers. After a while, they said goodbye, and despite Sam's only nebulous admittance to such, hurried out across the golf links to tell the first person that they ran into that they had not only seen but talked to a genuine ghost. So these elementary school kids are just pretty much convinced it's a ghost.
Yeah.
They're not. They have no reason to. I don't know why they even think ghost. Maybe because it didn't things that humans can't.
Kind of weird. Only because maybe it said it sort of.
I want to know like they're like the line of questioning that they had. I want to know what it is.
I know it really infuriates me that they had a half hour of additional questions, and I guess the chronicler didn't feel that it was necessary to put down. I want everything verbatim.
Yeah, you need everything.
Here,
yeah, absolutely. I want the meat of this conversation. I want to know where they go. Where are you from? Might have been a question they asked originally. You know, that's something I would have asked, but we don't fucking know.
Do you think it answered every question like it was Chris?
Yeah, probably.
just vague.
I can't guarantee it's not me
I was
from
about
the
to say,
future.
I'm not ruling
going to
Chris
the past.
In the future, do you don the fucking wooden clown and go back in the past and fuck up kids?
Well, we wait till see it's a costume somewhere and be like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
I guess
when we see it
I
hanging
guess it's
somewhere,
me.
it's like,
guess I gotta
shit.
fulfill my destiny.
Will it fit Rob? No. Will Mark wear it? No. God damn it, we're losing Chris.
Yeah. Here it is.
You, me, you, me, you. Chicken, turkey, ham, chicken, turkey, ham.
Yeah, me, you, me.
I threw
you.
turkey in.
Your head, my hand, your hand, my head, your hand.
See? Confirmation. Chris is the 7-foot wooden clown ghost.
I buy it. Stilts ahoy.
He's got to be Stilts ahoy because I'm not tall.
The man that the children first bumped into, likely a groundskeeper, I think.
Oh, groundskeeper Willie.
Simply laughed, assuming that their story was nothing more than a childish tale or possibly even a prank they were trying to pull on him. This greatly upset Faye and her compatriot. Disturbed by this initial reaction, it took Faye a few weeks to confide in her father, who was oddly designated in Oliver's article as Mr. Y.
Mr. Y?
Mr. Y?
Yamaguchi?
Yeah.
Yamaguchi Towers? Come on, everybody. It's Christmas.
Really,
not really, but...
It's Christmas.
It's always Christmas. As soon as it gets cold, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
You, me, you, me, you.
Christmas.
I say Christmas year round, so it doesn't matter.
So anyway, Mr. Y is her dad. Faye finally told her dad about her experience. At first, he didn't pay too much attention, but he started to be convinced due to the extraordinary level of detail that his daughter was filling him in with. So basically, her account was consistent and just full of the kinds of details, probably many more details than the actual article conveyed to us.
Okay.
And this eventually convinced the dad there was something up, and it's not just her imagination.
Right.
The, to us anyway, anonymous boy also supported Faye's description of the weird incident. So there's corroboration now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the 2 workmen who were repairing a post not far from where the kids had their incident claimed to have not heard or seen a thing. So no sirens wailing.
Okay.
No voice saying, are you there?
We do have 2 people in the area, though.
2 people in the general area. Now, were they in line of sight?
Right.
Were they
that's
25 feet
again,
away or
what does that
250
mean? Yeah.
yards? We just don't know.
Okay. All right.
But and then again, too, if the workmen saw this crazy giant clown thing and maybe didn't see the kids, you'd like to think if they saw the kids, they would run and try to help them.
Right.
But if they just saw this thing, would they be like, fuck all, I'm going to go to the pub, drink it away. I'm not going to be labeled a crackpot and be disparaged by all my friends and maybe even fired from my job for claiming to see something as outlandish as a 7-foot fucking puppet clown on the fairway.
Okay. Cool.
We don't know, but anyway,
fair
it
enough.
was important to mention this. Soon after, Faye's father explored the area where his daughter claimed to have had the encounter. There was no trace of the metal hut, and even more improbably, no trace evidence of it having once been there. So no flattened part, no yellow grass where something can't grow. If a metal hut is somewhere, even for a few days, you are going to see either the dents in the ground or the death of the grass or any number of things.
Yeah.
But he found no trace of that. I'm not saying that's obviously not conclusive evidence. I mean, but it's interesting. It's worth noting.
It wasn't there. So
here are some of the options, and we're going to get into these, that was proposed by Oliver and others of what this could be. So the question that we are left with is, was No Name Sam an alien, an interdimensional being, a type of biological robot, a supernatural entity, an ultra terrestrial, a case of 2-person mass hysteria, or something even more inexplicable? And this is what we have on the table, my friends.
Or our very own Christopher Carnicelli.
Or Chris, but you know, Mr. Oliver would have no way of knowing Chris or Chris's influence on this.
2-person mass hysteria is a little
ridiculous.
Not
2-person mass.
You don't say that doesn't work.
No, but and not to disparage the children, but as we all know,
and in all fairness, I'm going to say Oliver didn't write that. I put it that way,
right?
Because I have fun with words.
So
fun with words with Uncle Rob.
Yeah.
Not to discount the children, but we all do know too that children are
all right, let's
liars.
Let's get this out right out the gate.
All right, out of the gate.
7-year-old kids
are liars.
Not the most. God damn it! Not always. Not the most reliable witnesses, though. I'll grant you. Not the most reliable witnesses. Apt to be prone to imaginative longings and maybe storytelling, but also when put to the question very seriously and repeatedly, are not always necessarily going to look at. First off, if it's a game, they're going to get bored pretty quick and be like, "Oh, Dad, I was just kidding. Don't worry about it," and then let it be. But to repeat the same thing over and over, and to be visibly upset when the first person doesn't believe you, and then bring it to the dad and consistently repeat the same story again. I don't know. We didn't hear the transcripts. We don't know what the story sounded like right from the horse's mouth, proverbially.
I know.
The liar is on the table.
The liar's on the table. The imagination is also on the table.
As a father of a 7-year-old, I can confirm the imagination and the occasional lie.
If your son approached you and said, "Dad, this really happened," you could be skeptical, and then just repeated the story the same way over and over again, and was visibly upset if you didn't believe him.
Yeah. Now, like
you're a good dad.
Yeah. Now, like last night when he told me that he was on YouTube and he saw this trailer for a movie coming up called The Kryptonite Podcast, I was like, "Okay, buddy, we telling stories," and he was like, "No, I really saw it on YouTube." And then for a second, I was like, "Is someone making a movie about us?" And then I realized, no, I got by a kid. So
sure.
Yeah. So kids being kids, all right, that's on the table. We're going to leave that there.
And we have to put it out there, first and foremost.
Just to have it there, but listen, that's not fun. That is not what the party is.
It's not fun.
Well, not only is it not fun, but we have 2 kids.
Exactly.
One kid gets busted in a lie, another kid, because let's be honest, the boy was not quite as courageous as Faye.
Yeah.
You know, so he might be more inclined or maybe not. Maybe he's a trusted comrade that will never roll on a buddy, but he might be more inclined when he's, being faced with punishment to say, "All right, Faye had a story, and I went with it, and I'm sorry," or whatever. But these people, these children, at least during the context of the story that we've been told from this journal, did not break story. They thought it was the truth.
Yeah.
The kid corroborated what Faye said. Again, is that empirical absolute truth? No. But it's just a little. You have to build a mountain out of dirt. One scoop at a time.
So we got ghost, we got alien, we got interdimensional being, and we're leaving Satan on the table. So let's start off with ghost. Not your typical description of a ghost.
No.
But he did say I'm not a ghost.
Yeah, but what's the definition of a ghost?
Exactly.
Let's establish the definition of a ghost for our purposes and tell me if you guys disagree.
Phantom?
A dead human being who for some reason lingers on the earth to either serve a purpose or as sort of well, this one's interacting. So to have actions that will somehow have consequences in the real world.
Okay.
In this case.
Can we group dead alien in there as well or no?
If it's dead, it's a ghost.
Okay, so
dead
alien.
You are crossing the streams a
dead
little.
Creature?
Why does it have to be a dead alien?
Aliens die probably. I'm assuming.
Are you kind of contemplating idea of a ship crashes back in whenever maybe when Neanderthals walked the earth? Dead Sam is there, but it's not really Sam. But he ended up liking the name Sam because he heard somebody named Sam on the golf course, get a hole in one. He's like, yeah, call me Sam, but I don't really have a name. And so the ghost of a dead alien lingers where it crashed some 200,000 years later.
I wish I could have thought of that, but I have not.
So that's not what you're saying?
No, not at all.
What are you saying?
Yeah,
I'm just saying that, okay, ghost, human, and or alien. Possibly. Or even...
Oh, my God.
You could have just ran with it, man. You did not have to do this.
Our definition of a ghost is actually someone who is crossing over from another dimension.
That is not my definition of a ghost.
Okay,
that's not what we just defined.
I'm saying
that's
what a ghost could be.
For our purposes,
it could be, but that's not what we just said.
Something else.
Okay.
That would be an interdimensional traveler, which is another subject.
For our purposes, we are going to agree with your definition, but we're going to add the caveat of possible alien ghost as well.
We're saying we don't think it's a dead human.
I don't think it's
Does
defined.
anybody think here it's a ghost?
I don't know.
Even though he did say, he's like, well, I'm not really a ghost.
Because let's imagine it this way: if
he's just like an apparition, then
or if
maybe.
he's a hologram, like if he's an alien or whatever at the mainland England camp that can't be designated, and he's projecting to these kids because he doesn't actually touch the kids at any time.
Not at all.
And so, as a projection, a hologram, just a non-corporeal thing, he might chuckle as a sage adult would be of any species.
He's a 7-foot tall wooden clown who's playing with a book in a river.
Oh, antically.
Where does it? Where do you go?
I'm just
what
saying,
do you do?
might call for. Well, let's go there. He might call himself a ghost if he just isn't there at that time and is projecting himself. Maybe he can read the human mind, and he knows the human mind says a ghost is someone who's there but not there because their body's in the ground, their soul is somewhere else, and this is some weird apparition.
Unless it's Mark, then you think some dead alien.
Yeah,
weird dude,
or human, and or anything.
All right,
that's your definition.
That is my definition.
Let's get back to the basics of this encounter.
All right.
First off. Waving from under a bridge, that should be enough to terrify anybody.
Totally.
But they're kids, they go for it.
Okay.
Why a book? If you happen to be, and I'm not saying it is, because a lot of the indications are it is not, but if you happen to be an advanced species,
it doesn't make sense.
Why would you have a book? Why would you live in a hut? It doesn't, unless it's camouflage.
A two-story hut, yeah.
But what I find really interesting, and I'm just going to narrow it to this point for a second, is that he has his book. He bumbles, falls in the water.
Clumsy.
I'm seeing like Harold Lloyd type shit.
Plus, he's going up and down. He's doing the.
Well, that's what it seemed like. That's what I pictured. Like he fumbles with it. It falls in the whatever the fuck it falls in the water or whatever.
It falls in the creek. Yeah.
He's got to go get it.
And then he's high stepping it everywhere.
Like fucking Johnny Depp doing. I guess it was Harold Lloyd. And what the fuck was that movie? But from the 90s. Benny and June.
Yeah.
Totally Benny and June in it.
Okay.
Then he hops away, and the kids are like, huh, that's fucked up. He hopped away into this weird hut. All right, let's leave. And then he comes out with Mr. Microphone.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, you there?
Yeah. Is this thing on? Hey.
So weirdly, he can talk through the microphone, and then apparently can talk through the fucking slat of his mouth or whatever.
Yeah, mumble face.
Why does he write an odd assemblage of words in this book, then point to them, indicating that I am all colors.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Sam or whatever.
What am I? I am all colors. I don't understand that.
Well, none of it makes. I don't understand any of it.
None of it. You are correct. None of it makes a fucking
wooden
lick of
slats.
sense.
Are you sure?
Well, it seemed like we don't know for sure, but it's fucking weird. It's just.
All right. So.
Yeah. Hello. I am all colors, Sam. And the face just doesn't move. So we don't know that the face is wood or metal or anything. We just know it's immobile with triangular eyes, I think a square nose, and yellow lips. And we saw the picture.
They don't move.
Yep.
They don't move.
They don't move.
Which to me indicates simply a mask.
Right.
And so is this some weird creature, perhaps... Again, we can go any number of ways, ultra terrestrial, interdimensional. A lot of people talk fairy folk. Like elves has even been one of the theories that has been proposed. Yeah. That something comes from another your world or whatever the fuck it is, some different place, and is disguising itself as something that they think will be like relaxing to humans, pleasing.
To us,
And small kids in the 70s, maybe a clown was it.
I've also heard the explanation for aliens, too.
Possibly.
The aliens try to like present themselves in a way like, hey, we're normal. And then you're like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck?
You do not know normal.
Yeah.
You do not.
Whatever an alien's
Back to the drawing board.
Whatever an alien's idea of normal is, it is fucking god awful.
It's a horror show. It's not terrifying implicitly.
No, but something's off.
But it definitely is not comforting.
7 foot tall wooden, like it's wearing a mask.
I feel like you didn't do your research well.
Yeah, that's kind of the deal.
Like, if you plan on going there, there's plenty of probably pictures of what a clown should look like.
There's ways to look at us as a species and be like, what makes them happy? Oh, pizza.
Yeah,
there you go.
But here's the thing:
just a pizza floating around, going, "Hey, is this thing on? Hey,
guys, it's me, Billy Pizza. What's going on, dude?"
You're right. It would be Pizza the Hut, and it would be fucking horrible.
Oh,
I know, Spaceballs for life. But let's think of it this way: what if they're a species that's advanced enough to either traverse dimensional bonds or maybe even come from a solar system not too far away,
right?
But they're not like super duper advanced, so all they can do is go by our radio and television. There's no internet at the time. Now there's no excuse. If you want to look at Earth's broadcast, you can find out about everything in a second. But back in '73, maybe you see an episode of Bozo the Clown, you see some fucking weird shit on fucking
Jesus Christ,
I don't even know what shows were on at that point, and then you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a shed and a fucking clown outfit, and I'm going to make this work. And
it failed miserably
like
at every possible level.
Like the worst improv ever. Like, and go. Terrifying.
Well, what the fuck is the deal with a goddamn electric heater and some simple wooden chairs and like a fake goddamn...
Because he's like, here's my
wallpaper of dials.
Here's my normal Earth home. Fellow Earthlings, how are you? I'm Sam. Are you there? Like, it just fucking makes no sense.
The wallpaper doesn't make sense at all.
You know what makes a lot of sense?
Well, the microphone in the goddamn boombox doesn't make sense either.
I'm not going to take Satan off the table because we don't.
So you think demonic might be an option?
There's no telltale signs of the demon, as Chris would say. But I mean, I don't know.
As you always say, Chris.
As you always
You've
say.
never pronounced demon right in your life.
Yeah, I used to.
Demon and
daimon.
That's
my favorite too. Daimon.
So there's nothing really demonic about it. Although we're talking about maybe Satan being the ultimate liar in something like that. So possibly
just confounding the kids, making
them
look like liars.
Being the ultimate liar.
It doesn't seem like Satan level ambition.
Yeah, not really. No, that's why I'm saying that we're not going to take it off the table. We're just going to put it on like the chair.
Being grateful,
which I guess takes off the table. I'm sorry.
You're right. When it's on the chair, it is de facto off the table.
Okay, well, Satan, this is Mark. I'm sorry.
Wow, that's good.
Just making an apology to my dude. That's all. I'm sorry.
Worst case scenario. I'm so glad these kids ended up safe.
Oh no.
A scummy, horrible John Wayne Gacy type in a wooden clown mask with, you can have 3-toed gloves pretty easily. Just jam 2 fingers into one. Talking through a Mr. Microphone. What would make your mouth sound like you couldn't move it?
Yeah.
A fucking heavy mask pressed against it. Trying to get him into his goddamn murder shed.
You brought this to real world, real creepy.
Yeah, but what would have stopped him?
I'm just saying almost, and his murder shed, he's got what? Some simple wooden furniture, a second level, shitty wallpaper.
No, something like that crossed my mind.
I'm not saying I think that it's it. I'm just saying we can't ignore that possibility.
It wouldn't really. I mean, it completely is possible for someone to construct an outfit like this, in like you said,
like a full body clock.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
It might be hard to jump like you're on the moon.
Chris calls it.
But and also,
hence the dirt bags off the table.
Well, wait.
Well, and also, why? I mean, he just kind of let him go.
Keep the dirtbag / child murder on the table.
If it's a creepazoid.
All right, but it's on the corner of the table, about to fall off. Because
fine.
I wasn't acknowledging what Chris pointed out, which is the defiance of gravity.
Right.
That's fucking weird.
Okay, it is.
And 7 feet is pretty tall. If it actually was, unless you're
6'3" wearing boots, and it's a 7-year-old's perspective on what 7 feet is.
Well, sure. I mean, it could have been 6 at that point.
Sure.
But he had bare feet.
Yes, he did, technically.
Oh, okay.
I wonder what the state of his toenails were. Fungal,
did he
well-groomed?
need a pedi?
He might have.
Or is it pedi your toes?
Yeah.
Pedicure, yeah. Podiatrist.
Manny pedi,
or a
buddy.
Manny. Yeah. All right. I know what toes
But his fingers were covered in blue gloves.
Right. It's true.
Sometimes, I shouldn't say sometimes, somehow the blue gloves creep me out. Maybe it's just creepy. That Pennywise-esque image of a blue-gloved hand coming up from the side of the bridge going, "Come hither, children."
Yeah, but like you said, unless it is
chairs.
Yeah, Jesus
I
Christ.
put chairs and a space heater.
I have an electric space heater.
Enjoy the comfort of my windowless murder shed.
If it is some dude wearing like an outfit like this, it really wouldn't. We could easily pull it off. It wouldn't be that hard.
Not the hopping part, though.
The hopping part, no.
Not the disappearing fucking hut part where we leave no evidence of said hut.
Right.
Yeah, and I figure if you're going to do that, you would know more what a clown was than to do something so fucking obscure.
Okay.
as that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you were really like...
Well, it's we'll say this. It's always a possibility.
One of the main theories that has been espoused about this by people long before us, since the 70s, is an interdimensional traveler. One that maybe is either from some sort of advanced society, one that is from a parallel Earth, so it lives on our planet, but just in another dimension on the same, I guess, geographical hunk of rock and water.
It's weird wooden 7-foot clowns.
Who knows what they're like? I mean, anything we do might be fucking god-awful to them.
Right.
Fedoras might be nightmares to them. I mean, we don't know what we would appear like to other creatures, I should say, and vice versa. We just don't know. So that's one of the big theories, that it is interdimensional, and that as an interdimensional, it might, again, represent something that is just an advanced, I don't know why it would be advanced because of what it displays. It displays standard 70s tech for the most part. Or one of those elven, woodland sprites, fairies, pixies, fill in the blank, that just comes from time to time into the human world. Steals some kids,
shows up,
gives some gold, does what they fucking do.
But there's no agenda here at all.
No,
doesn't seem to be.
Nothing happens.
Nothing.
Actually, they do have a half an hour Q&A TED Talk with them.
Yeah,
but
they do.
No, there's no information.
Unfortunately, I want all the info.
But now he did say that there was others like him all over.
Well, on Earth.
We
don't know how many.
Well,
but
he said there was a camp somewhere
on mainland
he had a secret
England.
camp. Yep,
whatever the fuck that means.
Which, if you've already got, I mean, is that like his condo that he's living in, this weird little hut?
It's definitely a living space.
Welcome to the condo.
It's got some chairs.
Got the campsite down
so
yonder.
It must have just showed up like that day.
Yeah,
like nobody noticed it on the golf course earlier. It must have showed up like
seriously.
Again,
how do you?
If it is a vehicle that can travel either dimensionally or spatially and does not have to worry about momentum or gravity or any of the bullshit that we're enslaved to at our level of technology, this thing could look like anything.
It's true.
It could be just any shape it wants to be.
Or if it's thick enough, there could obviously be a way to hide it. You know, I mean, it depending on
or
where.
It could have
where
like a
it's sitting.
holographic designed camouflage that makes it look like a metal shed when in reality it's some fucking super teched out.
Oh, so it is a TARDIS.
I was gonna say it's a TARDIS.
Well, we can never take TARDIS off the table either.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, okay.
Get anywhere. If that's the case. TARDISes and elves are always on the table. Then well, there we go.
Listen, none of us, not a single one of us, understands clown physics, and we have to admit that right now.
I do, though, have extended family that graduated clown college, and last I knew were active clowns.
You're shitting me.
Swear to God.
You have family professional clowns?
Extended as in like my grandfather's cousins, but like they're my age.
We should consult them immediately.
I did know somebody too who had a sister who went to clown school.
Oh my God.
Yep.
2 out of 3 people knowing somebody peripherally that went to clown school has got to be well beyond the pale of averages.
We didn't even know that you were in a jug band with Roosevelt. So, which actually might not be in the episode yet. You might have to listen to the end of the episode to hear that.
It could be.
This could be a
But
thing.
boy, I had a good time.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Chris and I got clown lineage.
Not lineage.
Got blood.
All right,
clown
so
blood.
school me. What is this fucking thing and what's its agenda?
I have no idea. If it was something interdimensional, because I am the de facto interdimensional guy, the problem with that, and I always put myself in this corner, I put myself in this interdimensional trap, is that then, and you guys bring this up to me all the time.
Don't put Kid Crypto in the corner.
Crypto Kid. Is that once you go there, you're kind of like anything could be possible. And
well, sure.
I guess we have to know is what is determining, or what evidence do we have to point that this thing could be interdimensional? Because it doesn't say.
It only says this, which is just...
It gives us nothing to think that it is.
If it's a fucking human, it says no. And then asked if it's a ghost, it says, and I'll quote again, well, not really, but I am in an odd sort of way.
That almost speaks to how occasionally I say, ghosts, aliens, demons, interdimensional could all be the same thing.
Sure, ultra terrestrials.
Yeah, it could all be the same thing.
Honestly, I
wonder if this guy falls into that camp.
I'm never team ultra terrestrial. I've always, and our listeners know this, I've always had a beef with that blanket statement of it's weird, inexplicable shit, suck it. Maybe they have good intentions, maybe they're just dicking with us for their own amusement. We never know. But I have to say, of all the cases we've covered, this has the ultra terrestrial stamp on it more than anything else.
Right. But
I loathe that.
That same line of thought, though, and I because I do tote the idea on a pretty regular basis. Maybe everything is an ultra terrestrial. No. I don't want to be that guy, but
leave. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm going nowhere.
I feel like that's
you know what?
Too easy.
That's too easy.
I won't die on this hill, but I'll lose my goddamn leg on it.
So here's what we do. Oh, and I like your legs.
Oh no, it's gone.
So we fucking every week we come in, we read a story and go ultra terrestrial and go home.
I know.
No, I can't buy that.
You are right though. It is kind of a category where you're like, well,
do we have to say only certain cases could be considered an ultra-terrestrial? It's almost like you have to.
Sure.
Because we do have clear-cut things where, like, okay, yes, this is a cryptid, and yes, this is an alien. Could there
this
be
is not a cryptid.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
but
no.
100%
no.
Not a cryptid at all. Is there a possibility that all these things could possibly be connected in some way, shape, or form? Yes, but
Thin.
for
a
this
thin possibility.
very thin, yes. But we can't, much like Satan, we can't take it off the table.
Okay, fair enough. But what I want to say in defense of Sam, not Sam, is that he is afraid of human beings, or
True.
at least claims to be.
Right.
We have to
Yeah.
just take him at his word, and states to the children that he will not fight if attacked. Now, he's a 7-foot semi-wooden clown monstrosity.
So he could easily, like...
I think he could defend himself unless he's
Yeah,
brittle
totally.
as fuck. We don't know.
If he's made of balls,
he might
would
be.
be
He might
shot.
be bulbous and spindly and weird
Yeah.
inside that fucking
Yeah,
suit. We don't
well,
know.
yeah, you don't know.
He's got one shitty outfit he's been making do with on Earth for
Right.
how the fuck long, and he's like, if they try to attack me, I'm just going to take it. But I'm scared of that. That to me indicates, if it is true, a streak of pacifism that is both admirable and not indicative of a malicious entity, whether it's
No, yeah.
supernatural, extraterrestrial,
But-
or interdimensional.
But does an ultra-terrestrial by default have to be malicious?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
They're
So-
just tricksters.
No,
and they
there's not
assume
a rule
shapes.
for those.
Okay.
They
One of
just
the- I'm sorry, Chris.
no. Go ahead. I
No,
just said.
all I wanted to say was one of these days I will fucking bear down and really do the research, and we'll do just a straight fact ultra terrestrial pod. But until then, I think they don't have an intention one way or another.
Right. So they just kind of pop in and they pop out just for the fuck of it?
As far as
Well, I
we
don't
know.
know.
It's kind of like how I go to Walmart.
Did you say some of them
Like, I don't need
were
to
the
be
ones
there, but
that
I'm
came
there?
in to fool people and doodly-dee and mislead mankind in the wrong direction?
Absolutely.
That's what you brought
No,
up.
I mean, it could be
several
it could be,
times.
It
like
could be,
the
yeah.
trickster, half-human coyote gods that some Native Americans allude to Loki,
Yeah,
who's become famous
or-
in the
Sure.
Marvel sense, who just is here, who are just here to fuck with us,
That's-
to help us grow, though. I
Yeah,
mean, that's one of the theories. It's not just to put us down, but to help us learn about ourselves through paradoxical lessons that make us think in ways we don't ordinarily think.
Or they literally just show up to be like, let's fuck with them, because why not?
Cocksuckers.
Yeah. Which, we've all done it.
I don't
What?
I stated.
Just show up, just like fucked with somebody for the
Oh.
for the hell
I
of
thought
it.
I meant like slip dimensions and just fuck with.
Yeah, hey guys.
I'm like, I haven't done that yet.
I'm going to the teddy bear dimension. I'll be back. I'm gonna go freak them the fuck out.
Yeah,
See you guys
no
in a
doubt.
bit. Maybe it is a case of just they're just kind of showing up just to be like, let's see what we can do.
Like I was saying, as I stated, it is the most ultra-terrestrial-esque entity
Right.
we've covered.
Right.
I still don't support that. I don't think it's an ultra-terrestrial. I do not think it is two-person mass hysteria
Right.
or even a two-person conspiracy to lie.
But if it's interdimensional, I mean, what is it? There's nothing that.
Interdimensional
Well,
or
you know what, though?
intergalactic can almost be synonymous. You're just traversing.
Yeah, but that's kind of like saying
space.
that ghosts and ultra-terrestrials could also be synonymous. That they could tie together. But I will give you this: he does say that there are more of him there are more people like him on Earth.
Yes.
So if it was an interdimensional thing, and it is something where it is a shared area, and there's just two different realities that happen to be there, I don't know if that's how science works. In the way that you guys are looking at me, I'm going to assume no.
No, physics
But it's
allows
okay.
for a lot.
This is Mark's Physics 101, okay?
Get into the quantum realm, buddy.
So if you are in an area and there are just happen to be two shared realities, then okay, maybe.
What do you mean by reality? You mean like just dimensions?
Yeah, like his whatever dimension or reality that he's living in,
Is
that could possibly be a thing.
the metal shed a vortice? Is this creature
Or did the
coming
kids just
through the
happen to walk
vortex?
through something?
The flap in the metal shed.
No,
is,
I'm
that
just
is
saying-
that a vortex to another dimension? And this thing came out and is on Earth 1, which I'm going to be arrogant enough to call us. He's on Earth 1 looking around. He sees some kids. He fucks around with his book.
Right.
He runs in to get the microphone because he's not sure if they can hear him because he doesn't know how it works. Comes back, are you there? Because he's not sure how to, break the ice.
Right.
The kids are like, yeah, we're here, and walk over. They have their fucking moment. They go into his dimension for a hot minute, leave,
Yeah.
and this thing leaves no trace because it was never actually here.
Or yeah,
Again, not necessarily my theory, but
I don't think the
one
house
theory we
the
could
house
use.
doesn't necessarily have to be the.
Well, the reason I say it is because there was no trace.
There's no
and
trace of
anything made of
anything.
metal on
Which would
grass,
al-
especially a swampy marshland where this
Which
appeared
would
to
almost
be.
make me think that, like, if they're like 3 feet in front of his house and they cross a barrier into a different dimension, then there's his house. They cross back, closed.
So you're saying they could see it through like a dimensional window, cross through it?
Yeah, I mean, there was no indication that there was such a thing, but just maybe something that it's again, if it's reality, then you're seeing something that's there that might not be in your reality. And if for some reason they can interact with it, which they clearly did because they walked through a little tiny dog door flap or whatever, then yeah, but because there was no trace evidence of it left over. If it happens to phase into our reality and phase out of theirs, sort of like the Varenish aliens, we had that idea with those, where they just kind of pop in and then they kind of pop out. Possibility. I think I'm more likely to believe that, I guess, but there's nothing saying that it couldn't be some sort of alien.
Well, the evidence indicating for that would be either they have fucking super sweet hammies and can fucking hop in any fucking gravity, or that they're from a place where the gravity is more dense. And we're calling them wooden a lot. Let's be clear to this. There was wooden slats in their sleeves, and it seemed to be a rigid clown-like mask. It could have been made of fucking cobalt. That could have been chiseled from granite. Sure. We don't fucking really know.
That could have been a suit, a containment suit.
What's interesting is that the head was no neck and seemed to be like fucking colored in to the body,
which almost sounds like it could be
a really horrific looking astronaut suit.
That might be the most
but they did say that the antennae were wooden as well.
Wooden antennae, yeah.
But this is kids assessing what the appearance of something is, not necessarily scientifically testing it to go,
it very well,
this is fucking maple.
Yeah, it very well could just be
but then if we're going to question validity of the kids seeing it, we got to question validity of everything else that they saw.
You're absolutely right.
We do,
but it doesn't mean we can't say that they observed antennas that look to them like wood, and that could be literally what they observed, but they aren't necessarily in a position to ascertain that it is wood.
Yeah, no, I'm not denying.
If some weird space metal go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm saying I'm not denying that it's a fact that they're saying what they said.
Right.
Those are all facts.
Right.
But I'm just saying the validity of the actual thing that was there, not what they said they saw.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You have to question everything. I mean, on one hand, the literalist in me wants to say there could be some fancy space metal that we don't know about that seems to have wood-like grain and be fucking off brown. But there's the other possibility that we discussed. Yes, exactly. That we discussed in the Casablanca entities, which suggests that maybe all of this is a projection into the minds of a child. And this thing was maybe an unthinkable Lovecraftian horror that if they saw, they would literally just shit their bricks, lose their mind, and be forever fucking done.
Right.
So he tried to appear to them, just mercifully for them, in an appearance that he thought would be easier to comprehend and maybe even enjoyable for them. Now, by our standards, he missed the mark considerably. But by child standards of the early 70s, it certainly is better than what it might have been.
Maybe normal.
And maybe it was this weird, crazy-ass ship that just, here's wallpaper and wood. Like, if you read a kid's mind and it's like, in their home, they have a space heater and wood furniture, I will put those things there. If they have wallpaper that has, like, a ship's wheel, maybe it looked like a dial real quick, so let's make it look like that to them. And,
you know what that reminds me of, which is kind of interesting, is like when we were kids and we had toys and like the stickers that would be like on the inside of the Terrordrome.
Oh, absolutely. That was supposed to be the control panel.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I remember having like a little kid play set where it was like there was like a stove and like a fridge, and then there was like knobs on the stove. It almost sounds like that.
Absolutely.
Which, if you were some sort of being that was looking into it, that was like trying to project something into a kid's head, you'd be like, oh yeah, no, they play with these things all the time. They must totally, know what these are. Fake knobs on the wallpaper.
Just trying to put things there that seemed vaguely recognizable and would relax them.
Oh, you're saying it was like Contact? Ugh.
Oh.
Here's if we're going to use movie references, I know Contact is a groaner.
Oh, Jesus.
But what about Joe Dante's The Explorers? Where these kids were, they built a spaceship out of old carnival parts and whatever, River Phoenix and a couple others to go up in space. But what they met were not, it wasn't like First Contact, big deal, species coming together. It was other kids that had been watching Earth television and was beckoning. So what if this is just a kid? What if this is just a kid from a completely different world trying to make itself presentable to children of our world, maybe because it's just simply fucking lonely?
Could be.
I don't know.
We don't know. We're doing a bunch of what ifs.
But again, it is the visage of a 7-foot wooden clown.
Well, it might not have all the proportions right.
It's true.
But the vagary is kind of weird. Like, if you are an alien, then why would you say, like, I'm sort of a ghost? I figure that's a very bad. It's not even close to a definition of a ghost if you're an alien.
No.
And then why would you say, he asked him later, look, what he is again, and he's like, or
He answered
or,
him
what the
like
fuck
you
does that
would,
even
yeah.
mean?
Well, that sounds like the cryptic shit aliens say all the time to abductees.
So he says he's not
All
a
the
ghost.
time.
It's true. Aliens have a
But
pattern
then he says
of making
So
no sense when they
what
talk
else?
to you. So.
What else? Obviously, in the 70s, kids, there's no for ultra terrestrials or
Right.
and probably not for kids today.
what do kids know? I mean, they know what aliens, and he said he's not a ghost.
Big feet. Yeah.
Or it could literally be a response to what was said before. Are you human? No. Are you a ghost? Well, kind of. Specifically, what are
Sorta.
you? You know, because I just told you I kind of am like a ghost. So it could have just been him saying,
right.
you know. Still,
Okay.
it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
All right.
So we're ruling out wooden case horror show human being that is sneaking muffled
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
a mask.
It's
Yeah.
not a
with
murderer.
Mr. Microphone and
I
his
don't-
fucking horrible death shack.
I don't want to deal with child murder
No,
or
none of us
abduction,
do.
so I don't even want to go there.
That's what I'm saying. So that's
okay.
gone.
All right, cool.
Because that has no place in our world.
Okay, so demons on the table. I put it on the chair and I apologize. Back on the table. Alien.
If it is a demon,
Right.
then we would have had to learn about, and again, I didn't find any thing to indicate this, of some nefarious shit happening
Yeah,
to
there
Faye
wasn't
and the
any,
boy.
Yeah, there's no
If they
agenda
ended up
for it.
having a
Yeah.
horror show of a life or died
Right.
young, then maybe we could say, ooh, this is some weird, terrible setup.
Right.
But there's no
It doesn't
evidence
fit
of
the
that.
stories of other demon things.
All right,
is
so
all.
no.
Ultra terrestrial. We're having a hard time with that definition
'Cause that can always be a
because
yes.
it can be anything. We talked about it. It could be anything. Me, you, me, hands, head.
Biological
hands,
robot.
Yeah,
Hands.
exactly.
Biological robot was one of the
Biological
things put on
robot.
the table by
Totally.
Mr. Oliver.
Yeah.
Right.
Meaning that it needs
extraterrestrial
berries to
biological.
Yeah. Well, we didn't. We kind of glossed over that, but the whole berry thing.
That doesn't
sounds robotic.
It doesn't make me lean any way though. It's
Yeah,
just,
no,
it's
it
just
just
a
sounds-
weird
it seems
fucking.
weird.
But what if it
Yeah.
was like one of those early Mars probes that just happened to be built as an android with an
that's a good
outer
idea.
shell that
Yeah.
they thought would somehow be comforting to us,
Right.
and it's there to study the nutrition level in our berries, the pollution content in our water. It's just there to do exactly what a Mars rover would do: grab minerals, do all the shit it would do, except instead of just looking like a little robot on
Yeah.
tracks, it looks like a fucking 7-foot nightmare clown.
Which is weird. Why can't it
actually-
just look like a fucking
God
deer?
damn it! I have my
Or like
mind.
an animal.
I had
you
my
know what
mind
I mean?
made up, and then you just kind of changed my mind for me.
So
I
fucking
really did. I was like,
Super rover?
interdimensional being. Like, wait a minute.
There's easier ways to disguise yourself.
Sure, if you
Sure,
know, but
there
there's no
is.
one saying. I mean, listen, if we observed a culture whose languages we couldn't understand, whose features seemed anomalous to ours, because who knows what this looks like underneath, and so
No,
we
yeah, you
built a
don't know.
mask that we thought. We built a suit that could breathe in the environment that we were going to, that we thought looked like them, but to them looks like a fucking nightmare. But we did the best we could to emulate their features, and we were trying to interact and communicate. I'm not saying we ever would. We'd be a lot more cautious, and as human beings, we'd probably fucking pull a dodge and try to destroy them first. But that having been said,
Yeah.
if we were
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
explore there like that, we might make these fundamental mistakes.
It's true.
Especially if
possible.
we, I mean, now they have this rudimentary like app or something where you can translate any language.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
phenomenal. And that's great for the human race and brings us closer to our fucking Picard-esque Star Trek future that I'm longing
Yeah,
for.
well, me too.
But if that's basically the level they're working with and they're just
Right.
talking to some kids, it would be this tough and weird.
Yeah. Yeah. How about that idea?
Yeah,
though?
but then why kids?
Well, they happen to be there. Maybe they would have been just as happy
Yeah.
if the workmen came. But why didn't the workmen hear the siren?
It's
Are
true.
they denying
No.
it? Or
I know they just happened to be there, but like
They
why?
were, they were close, but they had no recollection of anything.
Or is it a siren call that can only be heard by those that might be willing to
by-
see beneath the veil, beyond the parameters,
Oh, the
to a new
kids.
world?
Yeah.
And
The-
children have those delightfully open-mindedness
Dude.
that makes Peter Pan fucking work as a story, I guess.
the whimsy of a child.
The whimsy of a child.
There you
Your
go.
favorite novel
Very
that you
well.
are going to write.
I'm going to write it. There you go.
So the whimsy of a child allows them to hear the horrific wailing siren that
Yeah.
brings them to the fucking weird entity that wants to talk to them in vague terms and show them his wicked berry trick,
Yeah.
and then send them on their fucking way for whatever fucking reason it might
Berry
have.
trick almost seems like a misdirection.
What do you think it's
Like, oh,
hiding?
hey guys,
Yeah, but
watch
for what,
this.
though?
Yeah, exactly. Just to kind of make the situation a little bit more complicated.
Do you think like his assistant
oh, guys,
was
look,
like
watch
was
this.
hiding frozen human cadavers in the back? So he's like burying the eye.
Yeah,
Don't look
Down the
over there.
barrel.
He's giving
Zornak's doing nothing.
the shed time to recharge so it can
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah, or just it's one of those things that you kind of toss into the equation. You're like, let's just make it weird.
Should we all just
Because
agree it's evil?
I think sometimes whatever we're dealing with
I don't
these
know.
things,
There's no
they
evil
just want to
intent
make
there.
it weird.
Yeah, it's true.
They just are purposely making
What if it was
weird.
a good thing that tried to give us a warning and just didn't know how to do it? So I had to take off.
Well, I mean, the space brains of Palos Verdes tried that, and well, that whole
You don't
Well,
know.
a lot
whole
of
thing got
extraterrestrials
weird.
try to say, stop nuking.
Yeah.
Be cool.
He didn't have that. All right, so I really do like your idea though.
Which one?
About being the biological robot, like the Mars their version of
The
like a I
rover?
think that's a really cool idea. Yeah, because then it's got to like filter water so it doesn't get sick. And it's got to pop a berry in its ear and then out its eye and in its mouth. It sounds cool, but I'm gonna go to my old
Your old haunt?
haunt, my old
Standard.
ways. I'm going back to the streets, as we call it, Rob. The streets.
Jeez.
I'm going to
God
go with
bless
the
you.
interdimensional. So, not that I really have
you're
much
not
of a
alone.
theory.
You're really not alone. You say that, and while I've researched this, I've seen more than a few sources that state, well, why not interdimensional?
There you
I
go.
don't think there's anything to back it up more or less than extraterrestrial.
Don't need
than-
it.
Yeah.
Don't need it. Bear in the eye, one in the mouth. Don't need it.
Wow.
There it is. Christopher, what are you
Jesus
thinking?
Christ, I don't know.
Are you
When you fucking
the
know.
7-foot wooden clown?
I guess,
Is
no,
it
not
you?
yet. I don't
Are
know
you
yet.
sure?
I haven't reached the point in my timeline where I could become it. So
Is
I might be.
your slash experiencing my my existential crisis?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sweet. I thought so.
The clown could be all of us. We
It's an
might merge.
amalgamation.
Wow.
Yeah, you put us all together
When-
and
when
we're
he-
7 foot.
When he said there were more of us on Earth, maybe he literally
Duh.
meant all of us.
Oh,
Maybe in our hearts we're all secretly
the clown.
robot wooden clowns
Yeah.
that are just trying to eat berries in our eyes and fucking
God
talk to kids.
Damn it, we just need hugs. That's all we need.
Hug the clown away.
Hugs and sandwiches.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. Just a nice sandwich.
Or maybe they become the clown in the future. That's why he's like, because it's really them.
Oh, is Faye the clown?
Yeah.
That would be a terrible transformation.
Oh, this needs to be a Netflix series.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, that will be. It will
You
be
know.
terrible. Yeah.
And,
okay.
and as we jokingly mentioned earlier, but we can't rule out, this thing actually looks more like a fucking puppet than anything else.
Yeah, it
with his
does.
immobile face. and its weird-
Marionette.
Marionette, exactly. Who knows what was pulling the strings? Extraterrestrial, something
No, I
divine
know. It
in
was
the sky,
Eddie.
something
Oh,
nefarious.
it was Eddie from Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Eddie from Iron Maiden,
There you
exactly.
go.
This thing might be manipulated by unseen forces in a very practical way, a way that we would all recognize as marionette manipulation, but in a
Right.
fucking super tech
That would
weird way.
That would explain why it's jumping.
Yeah.
That would totally explain why it's jumping. Oh, what if it's a 7-foot wooden, somewhat like sentient, like alive, like I'm like Johnny Five, but it's controlled by an ultra terrestrial.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah.
I said to Satanize. Ah, you like that? Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's just it is actually a future toy for a race of giants that somehow
Fucking
got into our
nailed
dimension.
it.
Somehow breached our reality.
Nailed it. Yeah,
Well,
could
you
be.
could say nailed it,
Yeah.
but it's no more absurd
No,
than anything
no,
else.
it's really-
Because
no,
I mean, the
he's
inside
not
looks like a
wrong.
dollhouse. It looks like a puppet. So his whole imagine having your sweet G.I. Joe playset that was semi-intelligent.
And Mark was saying earlier about how the control
Yeah.
panels were all stickers back then.
No,
and I
just-
remember them well.
I literally just stopped and just looked at Chris and I was like, God damn it.
Are we?
It's
are-
a toy for a race of giants.
I like the race of giants.
And we're
in
like
the-
fucking little extra things in a Mattel box that are just there to either enhance
Yeah.
the giant's enjoyment or whatever. We're just nothings. Like if a kid put his playhouse down on the back lawn and ants were to walk up to it,
Right.
and the kid could go, "Oh, hi, Mr. Ant and Mrs. Ant, how you doing?" It could be this fucking super invisible ultra terrestrial giant or whatever the fuck it is, using his fucking weird clown marionette to say, "Hey, boy and girl, how you doing? Come into my dollhouse."
Okay, so did we land on ultra terrestrial giant?
Yeah, I think so.
Did we?
No, I think we all finally have a consensus.
You're welcome.
Chris saved the day.
Chris fucking
It's
killing
Chris
it
with the
over
win.
here.
It's fucking
Chris with
storm
the win.
giants.
Oh my God! If we can't bring it back to Norse mythology, there's no
shit.
point. Obviously,
right.
it's storm giants. The toys of storm giants fucking with poor English children.
Oh, it's funny that Chris is at the very end there. Just the
He pulled it out.
Man,
He pulled out the win.
Yeah.
Jesus, the third party intervention for the win.
God bless him.
Dude,
Nice.
you can never take storm
No.
giants
Off
off the
the
table
table.
either.
Yeah, don't do it. All right, so there you go. The Sandown ghost clown. Chris
Across the USA.
pulled it all.
Jeez, I
Chris
know.
has brought it all together.
Yes, he
It
did.
took me a while to figure it out, but that's the deal.
No, we got
That's
it.
the thing. We have to work through the problem. We're
Yeah.
basically what we are is a think tank that works our way through the paranormal for the benefit of you, dear
So
listeners.
are we doing like creepy math or something?
It is
that what
creepy
this
math.
Creepy math. Okay, cool.
Illicit geometry.
Dude,
Jesus. All right, cool. So there you have it. Thank you for joining us. As always, the social medias, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, ratings and reviews. Please rate this review on the Apple, or rate this show on the Apple
They help
iTunes
so fucking much.
apps and whatnot. Stick around after the music because we got some reviews coming up for you. Oh, we got some merch.
Yeah, we do.
TeePublic,
March.
check it out. TeePublic, we got some.
It is
cool
a lot
stuff
of bang for
happening
the
over
buck,
there.
I gotta
Yeah,
say.
the
I'm really impressed.
TeePublic is pretty sweet. Also, too, we recently launched a Big Cartel shop.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Even though I love the T-shirts, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Big Cartel, we've got some stuff happening there. As always, the links will be in the description of the show for both those shops. And other things we mentioned in the episode. So, thank you for joining us, and
Oh, jeez.
talking to you soon.
Oh, Fear the Storm
Bye.
Giant. It is really the best theory in the world.
Yeah, no,
No, you really pulled it through. You did.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Kudos, sir. Kudos.
I like how you say you're welcome. You just get up and walk away. You're welcome.
That's it.
All right, cool. Thank you for sticking around for the reviews. Before we get started, Robert, we had to add a little bit to the episode. And what do you have for us?
One of the things that I neglected to mention, because as you know, I write this in a fucking all-fired rush as you're on the way to pick me up, is that the father of Faye, known as Mr. Y, actually had some UFO sightings previous to this in the earlier 70s. One involved like two yellowish lights beneath the water of, I assume the ocean, and that the road he was driving on flooded out, so he stopped and watched it for a while. He said it looked like sea monster eyes. The other one's like this big red UFO that was playing amongst the trees. And this is an important caveat, he claimed he never told his daughter word one about either of these two experiences. So I know seasoned skeptics are going to say, oh, the dad was a UFO buff, the daughter inherited it, she made up some crazy shit. Maybe his seeing unknown things inclined him to be more open to his daughter's account. I don't know, but I don't think that in any way him seeing these anomalous lights, really, that's all they were.
Well, sure.
Makes his daughter and her friend's account any less valid.
All
so
right.
just because I neglected to mention it, and it's out there for the research, I wanted people to know that this is part of the story, but not technically part of the story.
Right,
All right.
right.
Cool. It
Does this
doesn't-
change either of your perspectives on
No,
this?
not at all.
It's still Storm Giant.
Still
Yep,
Storm
Storm
Giants,
Giant toys.
Super Marionette,
Cool.
Ultra Dollhouse.
Toys.
Okay,
Yep.
we got it.
All right, here we go. Our first review is coming to us from Dr. As Above, So Below.
Oh,
The best podcast on the Bizarre, 5 stars. I stumbled upon this podcast and picked up a random episode, the Varenish Aliens episode, actually. I was instantly hooked. I went back to episode 1 and become a huge fan going through all the episodes. Even have some merch on the way. Great work, Rob.
Thank you.
I love how you approach each case from all angles. My favorite theory is that nuclear weapons mess with the fabric of time and space, interdimensional mayhem, and the open-minded. And I also appreciate I'm sorry, I put words in their review here because I lost my spot. The open-mindedness to all the cases is refreshing. The humor and chemistry between you three is what crowns this podcast as a real gem. It gets me through my shifts at work, laughing instead of groaning. Keep up the fantastic work, guys. P.S. Plants can totally feel, although I think of mowing the lawn as a haircut instead of something horrific. LOL. You had me until you brought up plants with emotions. Dr. As Above, So Below. But thank you very much for your review.
absolutely. And you know what? I wholly agree. I don't think you have a Caligula-esque beheading machine that is mauling the living beings in your lawn.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a nice high top fade.
Yeah, that's the
Thank
deal.
you for that kind review.
Crew cuts.
Plants do feel, regardless of the facts. Regardless.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
thank you.
Thank you for the
Thank you,
review.
Doctor.
Moving on here, we've got, this is from Rodeo Cowboy 279. Jelly bags, dump cats, danger holes. 5 stars.
Danger
nailed it.
hole.
This is the podcast for you. I don't know who you are or what your interests may be. However, I do know that this podcast is what you need in your life. As an avid podcast listener, this is by far the best one I have ever heard.
Oh, shit.
Mark, Chris, and National Treasure Rob
Damn straight.
dig deep into cryptids and paranormal and interdimensional. Mark and Chris are also national treasures, by the way.
I agree with that
thank you.
assertion. I do.
This
I think we all are.
podcast will make you laugh way too hard while at work and even engage you to the point of talking back while you're in your car or at home.
You
If
know, I'll pause you for a second.
Okay.
That's the best sign of anything.
Yeah.
Whether it's a movie
When
or
you're
talk
talking to
radio
somebody,
or
yeah,
whatever.
totally.
When you're responding, That's
Yeah.
fucking tits up.
If I could give this podcast 666 stars, I would, because you never take the devil off the table.
Ha!
Excellent podcast and excellent audio quality as well. Please listen. Awesome.
That was wonderful.
I will listen.
That was great.
I actually listen to our pods. I don't, usually
Yeah.
I don't involve my, if I'm in the process of creating something, usually when it's done, it's fucking done and I don't pay attention. I actually listen to our shit and kind of enjoy it. Is that narcissistic?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
I
good.
listen to our shit.
Yeah.
It is narcissistic.
But you at least are editing it. I listen to it while I'm drawing.
I actually
Yeah.
listen to it to the point where I fucking hate both of your voices and I despise mine.
Wow.
Yeah, it's terrible because
Wow.
I have to give it the listen, and then I gotta take notes.
Yeah.
And then I gotta edit it, and then have to listen to it again. So I have to listen to the same episode no less than 3 or 4 times.
So should I really try to Barry White it up to make it easier
So
for
by
you?
the end of it, I want to punch everybody
Fair enough.
in my near vicinity.
And bash your own face into a wall.
I'm joking. I love you guys. You're the best. Okay, here we go. All right, the next review is coming to us from Bastiat Fan. Best little podcast, not in Texas, 5 stars.
Oh, whorehouse be damned.
I love
yeah.
this show. Not only are the stories / cryptids astonishingly obscure, the guys who share them with us are hilarious. Always fun to listen to, but be careful where you listen. You will laugh a lot out loud.
Yeah, also,
That's
if
true.
you're like a preschool teacher, use the headphones.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
not. Yeah,
it's not
If you've
safe
gotten
for
this far into the podcast, you've been listening without headphones. Woo, man, you're gonna be in some trouble. All right. So that's it. That's going to do it for this week's
Sweet.
reviews for the podcast. Thank you all very much.
I
Again,
love
it is
it.
always appreciated. Be sure to keep those reviews coming. It helps us out greatly. And we'll be talking to you very soon.
I certainly hope so. Barring any unforeseen interdimensional incident.
That's true.
But if it does happen, you know what? See you on the other side.
Podcast from the other side. No,
There you
thank
go.
you so
Awesome.
much. You guys fucking rule. You make our week. Thank you.
We're talking to you.
That is patently fucking
That's how you
ridiculous.
sound like fucking John
I do
Travolta.
not sound like John
Oh,
Travolta.
Mark, geez, look, it's Dropbox. What do I do?
guys.
Okay, Rob, so on your desktop, what I'm going to have you do is put the files into the Dropbox. Okay, Mark, cool. I'm going to turn my computer off immediately. Okay, good. Cool.
Don't mess with my hair
Step
while you're
one,
at
turn
it.
off computer, right?
All right, Rob, step 1, turn your computer off. Don't turn it back on.
Yeah.
Put the files in the Dropbox. Don't worry about it. You have beautiful hair.
Douchebags. Douchebags crossbar. So what monster did you research this week, Mark?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, we all fulfill a fucking purpose.
Anxiety, depression,
Those are
anger.
not, I think we went over that.
I'm having a weird existential crisis, as a matter of fact.
Is
I don't
it
know where I fit in the universe, and I don't know if
Pre-midlife?
I have to.
You do fit into the
I
universe.
don't think I have to.
Because you are in the universe, you must fit into the universe by definition. You're
don't-
here.
I-
You
I-
are.
I-
Enjoy it.
I understand where you're coming from. I just don't feel as though I belong to this earth.
Well,
That is the name
Oh.
of my new side project.
what is
My new
it?
side
Is it a form of
project.
meditation? What
Yeah,
the
I
fuck are
know.
you doing?
I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be cool.
Oh,
And-
brokenmark.com. Everyone join up.
Are you starting a movement?
I mean,
You know what Mark's got? A case of the 38s.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what he's got.
Jeez.
You'll get over it, buddy. You're not even
Wait,
even
yeah.
halfway through your life, I hope.
Did you notice how I did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all perfect for the end of the episode right
Oh, I
there.
did.
That's
that
all
was
perfect.
recorded?
Oh, part
Oh,
of it
Jesus
is.
fucking Christ.
Part of it is.